Charting the LifeCourse is something the Bureau of Developmental Disability Services is using with all of their clients, but it's certainly not limited to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The core belief behind LifeCourse is that all people have the right to live, love, work, play, and pursue their life aspirations in their community. And there are certain guiding principles to assist individuals define what they want, and just as importantly, what they don't want in life, to determine an individual's strengths, to determine what resources they already have available regarding technology, community supports, relationships, and eligibility-specific options, to identify an individual's vision of a good life, and to determine the skills and resources needed to achieve that good life. That's one of the keys with LifeCourse. What is your vision of a good life, and how do we help you get there? The great thing about LifeCourse is that the creators of LifeCourse have developed all sorts of tools to help with this. All of these tools are available for free at lifecoursetools.com. And as you're charting the LifeCourse, they break things down into different life stages to make sure the materials are age appropriate. So there are resources specifically for early childhood, specifically for school-aged, transition to adulthood, and even aging. They also break things down into different life domains: daily life and employment, community living, safety and security, healthy living, social and spirituality, and citizenship and advocacy. They even have information on services and supports for the family unit. But there are a lot of things I love about LifeCourse and the LifeCourse tools. First of all, it is very strengths-based and very positive. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but they give you the tools to help you focus your thoughts so it's not so overwhelming and vague. They also ask questions that may not even be on your radar to think about, but it starts those conversations. They've got an entire booklet on employment to begin exploring the ideas of jobs and careers, post-secondary education, and even owning your own business. They even have tools to help determine how much support a person may need and what strengths and skills they may already have. They focus on things like, what do people like and admire about me? What is important to me? How do you best support me? And as you're thinking about what resources may already exist in your community to reach your goals, they have tools to help you think about that too. I want to share some of my favorite tools with you. So this is the Charting the LifeCourse Focusing on Transition to Adulthood 4-page tool. They have one for each of the life stages. This one just happens to be for transition, but it breaks things down into different life domains to ask questions you may not even be thinking about yet. This is the Exploring Life Possibilities page. At the bottom, we have what people with disabilities have traditionally done in the various life domains. And up at the top, we're listing all sorts of opportunities. So for example, when it came to daily life and employment, traditionally we would be talking about sheltered workshops and day programs. But now we're talking about things like jobs and volunteering and careers. But we're even talking about college and technical schools. We're talking about supported employment. We're talking about micro enterprises. So there are a lot of new things that we're talking about now that we haven't in the past. This is the tool for developing a vision, and one of the things I like about this is that there's one for the family to fill out and one for the individual to fill out. I recommend you each fill one of these out, then compare them. You'd be amazed at how often the family's vision of a good life and the individual's vision of a good life may be different, but it's a great way to start the conversation. I also love this. This is the Life Trajectory Worksheet, and there are several different versions of this. Some are specific to topics like respite or school or employment, but this is a general one. I tend to do this one backward and start with the trajectory. So the whole idea about this is, what is your vision of a good life? And how do we help you get there? But just as importantly, what do I not want in life and how do I avoid going there? What are the past experiences I've had that are getting me to my good life? What are the additional steps I need to get to that good life? And then on the next page, we've got the portfolio where we're talking about, what do people like and admire about me? What's important to me? And how do you best support me? There are times I even recommend families share this with their school system, with their job coach, with their providers, so that everybody's on the same page as they're talking about these things. Then they've also got what they call an integrated support star, where they break things down into different sections. So we have personal strengths and assets. We have relationship-based resources, eligibility-specific based resources, community resources, and technology. And those are things that can be easy to overlook. But of course, as you're sitting there looking at this blank star, you're wondering, what in the world do I put in that? Well, LifeCourse has your back on that one too. They've actually got a tool called Integrated Support Options that helps give you some suggestions and some examples of the different types of things that you can put in each one of those star sections based on the different life domain you're discussing. University of Missouri Kansas City's Institute for Human Development and their University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities, Education, Research, and Services has developed some wonderful tools to help people with disabilities live their best life possible. If you're getting services through Indiana's Bureau of Developmental Disability Services, talk with your case manager or group home provider about this. If you're not in services, go to their website at lifecoursetools.com to start exploring this process. They have all sorts of tools, videos, and testimonials to help you explore living your version of a good life. For more information on this and other topics, visit the ARC of Indiana at arcind.org and the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration at in.gov/FSSA. For information on charting the life course and on how LifeCourse tools can help individuals and families develop a vision for a good life and identify how to find or develop supports, visit lifecoursetools.com. And please, don't hesitate to contact a family advocate at the ARC of Indiana by calling 317-977-2375 or 800-382-9100.